Hello, my lovely anatomists and physiologists. I wanted to revisit real quick one topic on the cerebrum, and this is what's called the subcortical nuclei. So remember, subcortical is talking about beneath the cortex, and the cortex, remember, is the outermost gray tissue. But here we're talking about nuclei, and so this is our code for gray matter in the central nervous system. And remember, gray matter is hugely significant. This is where our cell bodies, our neuron cell bodies, our soma, are located. And so this is where information is being processed or integrated. And so we have three important subcortical nuclei to talk about. So let's start first with the basal forebrain. And so this is really nuclei that are going to be involved in learning and memory. When we talk about these nuclei, we're really talking about collections of cell bodies. So we don't really, for us, it's not an area that we're going to anatomically point to on our models. We also see that this is important in, this is our primary location for acetylcholine production. Acetylcholine, we know, is that all-important neurotransmitter that we've been talking about all semester. We also see here that it helps to sort of modulate the overall activity of the cortex. So we'll see that the basal forebrain is important in learning and memory, modulating the overall activity of the cortex, and it's the primary location for acetylcholine production. When we talk about basal nuclei, we should see that this is important in planning movements. Not directly doing the movements, but planning to do the movement. So I wrote down like to move or not to move. That is the question that this group of cells are going to be answering. And so our book gets pretty technical in the description of the basal nuclei, and I don't really think that we need to do that, go at that level at all. But they do get this really nice example of like you're sitting in a classroom, and the teacher's talking, and you feel very wiggly, and you want to stand up, and you want to fidget, and you want to move, and you don't, because you know everyone's going to turn and look at you, give you the side eye, and you don't want to get the side eye. And so you don't let yourself wiggle and move and jump around, and instead you sit still in your chair. You resist that urge, right? So that resistance, that planning, like I can't move now, but I can move in 10 minutes when class ends, that's coming from the basal nuclei. The other subcortical nuclei that I do want to talk about, and here let's highlight this one in some pink color. This is the limbic cortex, or what can be described as the limbic system. This is our motivational system. This is involved in our learning, our memory, our emotional processing. It's all coming from the limbic system. It's described as linking conscious intellectual function and unconscious autonomic nervous system function. This is going to involve a group of cells referred to as the hippocampus. And so these are structures maybe you've heard about before, and the amygdala. All of that is part of the limbic system. And again, these are more like collections of neurons that are going to be known well to neurobiologists, to neurologists. But for us, it's not something that we have to like point to on a diagram or on a model, just describe. Okay, now we're ready for the Diancephalon, so stay tuned. As always, take care of yourselves and each other.